life. We've had this whole list of hospitals: Thameside, North Cumbria, Burton, North Lincolnshire, United Lincolnshire Hospitals, different trusts involved, Sherwood Forest and so on, all the different things that are wrong with them according to this inspection. Do you smell a rat here? Do you think that actually these inspections were not up to muster? Or do you think actually they've gone through them and they have found there's not much wrong, because usually not much is wrong? That's the whole point. Suzanne is in Thurrock and says, 2 years ago I spent 2 nights at Basildon and Thurrock Hospital. This is one of them on the list. It's in special measures now. Suzanne says, it was horrendous when I was there. The staff were horrible. They treated me appallingly. They wouldn't help wash me or anything. But then 3 weeks ago, I was back in for a few nights and my treatment could not have been better. The staff were great, so things have improved. Or maybe they improved because they knew there was an inspection. David Jarl is in Helensburgh, and your mother was in a hospital in Lincolnshire, in Grantham. Was that one of the ones on the list then, David?
I do believe it is, the Lincolnshire Health Trust, yeah.
So United Lincolnshire Hospitals Trust, is that right?
I think that's the one, yeah, because it was 10 years ago when this happened.
And that's one of the most serious, that they had 12 so-called never events, large preventable patient safety incidents. Now, what happened to your mother?
Well, basically she had lymph cancer, and it was well recognised at the earlier stages because of rheumatoid arthritis tests. And they put her on the new treatment for chemotherapy. And on the third, she'd had sort of like the 2 treatments got septicemia, and they treated it with antibiotics. And on the third go, she told the doctor she had septicemia, went into the hospital, and there was at minimum there was a delay, if not they forgot to give her the antibiotics.
Right.
So she died within 12 hours of arriving in the hospital through septicemia.
Which, well, I'm very sorry to hear that. It sounds like you believe that was completely preventable.
Yes, I do. And in the end, we sort of went through the internal complaint. I've got a bit of background, and my sister was a nurse, and we always thought it was a bit odd. So we went through this whole complaints procedure, and it was almost like it was a fight every step of the way. And we ended up in that they reported it to the coroner, but we felt that they hadn't done it properly. And then in the end, we got a coroner's hearing, not an inquest, but an actual hearing. And he overturned the death certificate on natural causes through lymph cancer and septicemia by narrative, so just short of negligence.
I see. David, thank you very much. I'm sorry to hear about your mum.
That's okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
Ready to we'll work out what all the papers make of the hospitals in due course. On another subject, just want to mention record that's out. I don't know if you know Fisherman's Friends, and they have a new single out which is called Mary Ann, from their album One and All. Fisherman's Friends, brilliant Cornish group of a cappella singers, reviving old songs, wonderful. But as you know, they had a terrible year, actually it was this year, earlier in February, where one of their singers was killed in an accident. So the single and the video for the song you're about to hear were filmed only weeks prior to the death of Trevor Grills of Fisherman Friends. And if you look at the video, you can see him basically doing his last performance with the rest of the Fisherman's Friends. So this is a special song for all those reasons, and here it is, called Mary Ann. too. Steve Wright in the afternoon is on his way. He's got Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, the actors. He's got the director Edgar Wright, and he's got the celebrity chef Rick Stein.
Keep the fire burning till it guides me home again.
Oh, and Louise, like you are choosing the non-stop oldies. Stay here for Steve. And have a great, cool afternoon. BBC Radio 2 online, on digital radio, and on 88 and 91 FM. Cheerio!
And now the BBC News at 2 o'clock. This is Harvey Cook. The Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt announced that 11 out of 14 NHS trusts in England, which were investigated for high mortality rates, will be placed in special measures. He said a report by Sir Bruce Keogh, the Medical Director of NHS England, had found thousands more patients had died in those hospitals than would normally be expected. Speaking in the House of Commons in the past hour, Mr Hunt explained what action will be taken against the hospitals which were found to have what he described as fundamental breaches of care.
Each hospital will be required to implement the recommendations of the Keogh review with external teams sent in to help them do this. Their progress will be tracked and made public.
No problem.
The TDA or monitor will assess the quality of leadership at each hospital, requiring the removal of any senior managers unable to lead the improvements required.
West Midlands Police have arrested 4 teenagers on suspicion of murdering a 15-year-old boy in Birmingham. Detectives believe he was stabbed during a fight between 2 groups in South Yardley last night. A report has found the use of dead children's identities by undercover police officers was sanctioned at the highest level. A review by the Chief Constable of Derbyshire Police says the names of 42 children were used, but their families will not be told to protect the identity of the officers. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner, Sir Bernard Hogan-Howe, says the practice has now stopped and his force has apologised to 15 families.
I think any one of us can feel is that if your child has died, that's a horrible tragedy to happen anyway. To have the possibility of being resurrected a lot later by the use of their identity, that has got the potential to hurt someone. And it's for that hurt and potential offence that we're apologising. But I do understand, at the time these decisions were made, there was no no-risk option.
Inflation's risen to its highest level in 14 months. The rate, as measured by the Consumer Prices Index, reached 2.9% last month, up from 2.7% in May. A rise in fuel costs contributed to the increase. 650,000 customers of Swinton, the insurance broker, could be paid compensation after the company was fined £7 million for mis-selling insurance policies. Simon Gompertz reports.
Swinton, Britain's biggest high street insurance broker, used aggressive tactics to sell add-on insurance policies to customers who had bought cover for cars or homes, according to the financial watchdog, the FCA. They were for breakdown cover, emergency assistance in the home and personal injury. The FCA says the company didn't explain the cover properly or even tell customers that the policies were optional. Typically, they cost around £6 a month, so the compensation